Hey, what's up guys, Young Dragon here, and I'm welcoming you all for today's video on my Payday 2 Armory. For today's episode, I'll be covering up the German WA2000, or Walther 2000, which is a German semi-automatic bullpup sniper rifle. And it was produced by Karl Walther GmbH, Sportswaffen, a company from 1982 until 1998. So the weapon design was in the 1970s to 1980s, and only 176 were built. So this is a very rare piece of a weapon to be having. Plus, the price for it is very, very expensive, even though in game it's like kind of cheap. And of course, it does fire the and caliber here shoots the 7.62 by 51mm round. Despite in-game says it shoots the 308, which is actually incorrect. The only other higher caliber it could reach would be the .300 Winchester Magnum. And despite the weapon looks, it's not really meant to use for military uses. It's actually meant to be for more of a police force to use these weapons. But I don't think it's really that attractive. And also, the whole 176 were built is due to high cost, making it one of the rarest and the most sought production firearms ever made. So if you do ever own one of these weapons, you're probably sitting with thousands of bucks right in your beanbag chair with this weapon, essentially. Alright, let's actually take a closer look at the stats. So of course the in-game name is called the Lebensauger, but of course I'll be calling it WA2000. The magazine capacity is 10 rounds, which is actually false. In real life, the WA2000 could only hold 6 rounds. The total ammo is 40, rate of fire of 150 RPM, damage 160, accuracy of 92, stability of 20, concealment of 16, threat of 12, and reload time of 6.2 seconds. So it does have the highest rate of fire of all the sniper rifles, and unfortunately does have a lower damage and the slowest reload time. But it makes up for it for having a much higher accuracy and very decent concealment. And at the time, it was definitely the most concealed sniper rifle until the newer sniper rifles added, like the Desert Tech and the Dragunov. So let's see that. Let's see how the weapon. Let's take a closer look at the detail of the weapon. Now this looks like a very first generation. So let's actually start off with the barrel. Of course, we got our little flash, pretty decent barrel, and on top we have actually the bipods on top. You can see where they basically have it on top. Yeah, you actually get to push them down and they fold, and of course they go fold back in place. Unfortunately, these are not usable in game, which is unfortunate because I would like to use bipods besides the LMGs. Okay, so we can take a look at we have the charging handle on the left side, and we also have one on the right side, so it's ambidextrous. As we take a closer look, we have the fire selector. Of course, S is safe, and F is for fire. And then you may notice a little logo called Lacquer. I hope I pronounced that right. That's actually, since they don't have the license to get the actual firearms company that would be Wolfer right there, or Walter, the way how you pronounce it. Of course, it does say the actual weapon name, and it says Karl Lanker Wolfenker. That's like, and it says made in Germany. That's basically where the company that made the WA2000. And we can see our magazine, our 6-round box magazine with the magazine release switch, just like in an AK. Of course, we go to the right side. Of course, we see our bolt. Our bolt. Of course, same thing it says. It says imported by. There's more reading to it, and also the whole reading the manual before uses. And of course, we have the same default, same per scope. So yeah, it doesn't look that much. Not really a good-looking gun, but in terms of the ergonomics, it's really ahead of its time. I mean, what do you expect from German engineering? They always craft like the most sci-fi shit in the 70s and 80s, and guess what? It's still a beautiful thing. And I wonder how even Gage got a hands on at least out of 176 of these rifles. How did Gage end up getting this and somehow able to supply so many for the Payday gang? That is beyond me. But let's look over the attachments. Now, of course, most of these attachments will be in German. So we got the Langer barrel, which I presume it's long barrel, and we got the Gita Enter barrel, which I think is some type of suppressor or some type of sniper suppressor. So as we take a look at it, it's just a longer barrel. And the suppressed barrel is just a suppressor itself. Nice little shiny looking design. I like how shiny it looks. Of course, you can put on any boost you want, including the total ammo boost. You can put on any gadget you want, even the degree angle sights. As for grips, we actually got free grips, but 2 of them still function the same way. The 2 are the Lichter grip and the Walnuts grip, which they both just increase stability while loose concealment. So this one removed lots of the handguard, but just colored it in white, which doesn't look that appealing. But as I actually get a better look, I can actually see a little bit more with the weapon. And well, I suppose they can't really have the exhaust port or the bolt to be able to eject the case from the left side, but it's only the right side. And the walnut grip is just essentially a colored version of the default foregrip. I mean, it looks hardly any difference, but I still love the wooden design and the detail of that weapon. And we have the Sutular grip, which is, well, the opposite of the stats, which decrease stability but increase concealment, so definitely the more stealthier or dodge or crits build. And of course, this would be my sniper rifle choice for stealth if I'm actually the Overwatch. Well, I'll let my team infiltrate the building, while I just sit back and pick up anyone that they can't get to or need to elimination. And of course, you could pick any sight you want. Sadly, this one does not come with the iron sights. And of course, it does have, well, it doesn't really have it. It does look like it has some of a Pictini rail. I can see on the scope, there's a little bit, maybe if I can just pick a sight. Okay, it doesn't really have one. I think it's just there to mount the sights of their scope. So yeah, it doesn't really have a Pictini rail at the top. but it does have this rail to mount the sniper scope. So let me see what it looks like with the thermal. Yeah, same thing like this, and I think same thing with the Bucks Buddy sight. Okay, it's a little hard to see, but yeah. Nope. That's about it about the talk of the information with the WA2000. Now let's see this rare jewel in action. Alright, here we are. We're at the old safe house and about to fire the WA2000. I just want to give you guys a little bit of a look of how the field of view of the sniper rifle is. This thing is so bulky, it basically almost covers half of my screen on the right. And this is essentially the same problem that the sniper rifle had when I played it in Modern Warfare 2. Where this is where I kind of know about this weapon, and I know it covers so much of the screen, which is ridiculous. So if you are using it, you just have to be careful with your situational awareness. It does create some tunnel vision with you, so at least having a sight is actually not a bad choice on this weapon. So let's get this loaded up. Alright, here we go. And of course I can't do anything about the idle sway because I can't hold my breath, which is unfortunate. I really wish I would have had something in the sharpshooter skill where it does reduce idle sway, so you don't have to worry about it bobbling all over the place. Alright. Taking the shots. Of course, I see. Usually, it did hit the two dents right here before they disappear. But then, the moment I keep spamming a little bit more, the accuracy and the grouping just makes it a little bit wider, a little bit more wider than it needs to be. Okay, now it's at the back of the wall here, and now this time I will try to, well, see how the recoil goes. But considering the weapon's semi-automatic, I don't think it's really going much anywhere, even at 150 RPM, where before it used to fire 120 RPM, but then they did buffed it to give it a little bit faster rate of fire to compete with the others, alongside with the Dragunov and the TR1. Alright, here we go. Okay, yeah, this looks really awful with the spam, and it didn't help because with my sniper scope, since it's all shaking over the place, I couldn't even see where I'm landing the visual shots. So it was pretty much a very terrible to see how the recoil goes. Okay, I'll just stay in the same spot again, but this time for the third test, I'll try to control the weapon this time, which it's probably not gonna end well. But here it goes. Oh wow, I actually landed at least 2 shots right on the cement ground before the dent on the wall. Let's see if they disappear. Oh look at it, it still disappears. So yeah, the recoil on this thing is not the best. I mean, of course, the sniper rifles don't really have much good stability. But after all, this is an accurate weapon to begin with. Alright, so well, I know I didn't really show you guys my fully decked out WA2000. I figure I should show it what I have during the fire range. So I'll whip it out in a second. Alright, here we are with our my fully decked out WA2000. I'm pretty sure everyone else has differences, but in terms of appearance, doesn't look different. Other than I have the walnuts foregrip, the long barrel, the thermal sight, and well, I also have the 45-degree sight, which I always run this when I pair it with the sniper scope, so it can at least have a close quarter sight, because I know as much hipfire is viable in this game, I don't rely it way too much, unlike Killing Floor 2, where that game hipfire is king. Alright, so now I'm just gonna do the same thing with the first test. I think it's right here or here. Alright, let's see how the results are. Yeah, it doesn't really look that bad. It looks, of course, a lot better than, well, what I had the basic version, because the basic one only had a 20 stability. The one I have right now is a 32 stability, so it makes a little bit of a difference. Okay, and also, this time I gotta try out with the 40-degree sight. And you may notice, there's not really much idle sway going on. Just that the gun does love to bounce just a little bit. I mean, this is the same engine too in Payday the Heist. Alright, here goes. Funny enough, the 45-degree sight is actually more accurate than the sniper scope, and of course I do a little more spam with the shots, so I think this is probably intended to bounce this way for the sniper scope. After all, some sniper, you do have an advantage of having the built-in thermal sight, or not really thermal, but able to highlight targets at a distance without the use of high-value target ace. But even so, with or without the high value target ace, it's still nice to have it on the sniper rifle, especially that you can actually highlight enemies at long range. And it's pretty handy to have if you had to deal with those pesky snipers in large open maps, such as the Bomb Forest or Goat Simulator, for example. Okay, I'm not gonna do both tests with the scope or these two together. I'll just mainly focus on the sniper scope itself. So I'll see how it goes with the recoil, and this time I won't control it this time. Going hot. Yeah, the moment this is the first bullet, but then every other follow-up shot, they're all at the bottom. Usually hits in the four areas and had the grouping. So it's kind of, so in terms of how to shoot the sniper rifle, I would probably advise you to when you actually land the first target, try to aim a little bit. If you're trying to spam it, once you take the first shot, try to basically aim a little bit above the target, so that way you can spam more shots and you're probably guaranteed to hit multiple shots in the head. Now I'm pretty sure with the sniper scope, with this little optic, will be different, or probably normal sights. Alright, now I gotta try this time of controlling the recoil. Alright, going loud. I was very close of getting one of them on the ground, and I think it helped that I really study how the recoil works on this weapon. So of course I had to pull a little bit up so it doesn't go all the way down. But still, it's of course a lot better compared to the base version. And I think this is so far, during my first test, the only time I ever got bullets hit the ground and not at the door. And just for laughter, I'm just going to show how it is with the sight is. And I'll just do the test 2 one. I'm not going to do test 3 with this one. But I'll just show you how fairly much manageable this recoil is with this scope. You can see by the result is a lot different, and as opposed to shooting all my first shots in the middle and then all my visual shot at the bottom, with the 45-degree angle sight, all my shots actually land all on the vertical and go up, and one went a little bit to the right. So it does make a huge difference if you use one of the two sights. So it's still nice to have. And I can show you how very accurate this is. So I'm just going to stand with where I did my first shot, and let me show you how the 45-degree angle sight is. Oh, I'm out of bullets. But yeah, even though I land 3 shots, it basically stays in the center. Alright, let me just load this up. And let's just try it again. Thank God for fully loaded too, because I was able to at least carry a little more ammunition. Alright, I'll try this again, but this time with 10 rounds. Not bad. I feel I got like the first 5 shots in the same group and the other one on the left, so you can see how very tight grouping the 45-degree sight at that range as opposed to the scope, because the scope has some idle sway. It does bob from like basically a figure 8 pattern, which can be very annoying to deal, especially if you're trying to snipe a sniper or killing an enemy at long range. But having the sight can be a little bit better, but just be careful, just be in mind that you have a different vision with you, so in terms of magnification. So, of course, I always like to use my scope for long range and highlight targets, while I like to use my 45-degree sight for close quarters. So at least that way, if you don't have time to switch to your other weapon, or you don't have a laser sight, for the angle sight would work. You don't equip this optic here, but you can equip the other ones. There's the iron sights and the other free 45-degree sight. But that one's a little bit uglier. This one's a little more cleaner. But this is the paid one. Alright, now it's time to show you my my stealth version of this sniper rifle. See you in a sec. Alright, here's my stealth WA2000. I have the suppressor, I have the black foregrip furniture, and I have the compact laser module, and the scope remained the same. It's just that I find it a little bit ridiculous that a red dot sight, which is a much smaller optic than this sniper scope, still decreased concealment, but that's because it's meant for, you know, web balance. As if they were to give a red dot sight that doesn't decrease concealment, but does increase it for sniper rifles, it would be broken, especially for high concealed sniper rifles. But alright, let's test this thing out. course, you definitely hear the gun firing, but you also hear like a clicking noise too. That might be due to the trigger or the bolt hitting the back of the primer to eject the empty cases. But of course, well, that's definitely my sniper rifle choice if I ever want to do some Overwatch and stealth. You know, just pick up targets or just highlight people at a distance and able to shoot through walls before my teammates get inside the room before they get the kill. Funny enough, I actually did kill the cameraman before Angelus even gets inside the camera room in Election Day, Day 2. Alright, well, that's enough firing with the WA2000. Now I'll give you guys my final conclusion to the sniper rifle. I'll see you back at the lobby. Overall, the WA2000 was definitely a unique sniper rifle at its time, being the first ever semi-automatic sniper rifle, as well as able to have a lot more concealment over the other first 4 sniper rifle that was added in Payday 2. But with more sniper rifles been added, it's mostly basically declassed by a few others in terms of concealment and in terms of reload times. Of course, this weapon still has a long reload time. And if I had to compare between the 3 other semi-auto, or the 2 other semi-auto sniper rifles, the Dragunov and the TR1, the TR1 is definitely the more spammy, which is the contractor, which is the more spammable sniper rifle, but doesn't have the best accuracy. It does have a larger magazine, so it does spam a lot more, while the Dragunov relies in between the 3 semi-autos. It still has better accuracy, better stability, and even better concealment than the TR1. But the WA2000 definitely has the edge in accuracy, especially sitting at 92, which of course you can increase even more. And it's definitely my favorite. Well, it is one of my favorite sniper rifles. But in terms of how is it really useful on the highest difficulty? I gotta say it can work. It's just that you had to make up for the speed for the weapon. So you can have skill to make the weapon reload faster. You just had to bear in mind with the damage. After all, this is not a powerful sniper rifle. It does spam quite a bit. It's probably better if you have a close range optic like a red dot sight. But overall, I probably would just prefer the Dragunov or the TR1 for close quarters for a spammy sniper rifle. While the WA2000 is best for long range, but other sniper rifles can excel at long range. So it definitely has some weird place to have in the sniper rifles class. But it does have the overall the best look of a sniper rifle. And I love this backstory that only 176 were ever made, making it one of the most rarest firearms to ever exist. But yeah, thank you for watching, everyone. Until next time, farewell, and have a wonderful day, everyone.